Hello everybody and welcome back to the start of Season 11 of F1 TS Sub. It is Nick and I again, and we're not in the Prestige tier. Or the Pinnacle tier. We are in the Prestige tier. Oh, what a mistake to start Season 11 off with. Nick, how you doing? I'm excited to be here.
It's fantastic to be back, Alan, and for the first time ever at F1 TS Hub, we have a full grid. All 20 drivers are here for the first round in Austria. It's raining. What more do you want? We've had a fantastic podium tier. Our Pinnacle tier is coming to the close, live on our YouTube as well. So if you want to head over and check that out, you're more than welcome to. Although myself and Alan would love to have you here for our top 20 drivers at F1 TS Hub. Qualifying night, Alan, 0.8 seconds covered first to 20th. These 20 guys are now about to show us what they can do in the wet.
Yes, the wet is definitely something that should be noted at F1 TS Sub. I don't remember how many rain races we've had last season in the Pinnacle tier. Not enough, to be frankly, because I can't even remember. In qualifying, I think we've only had one wet qualifying, and to start off this 12-race season and Season 11 for F1 TS Sub, it is a wet qualifying session, and yes, you heard me right, 12 races to start out Season 11, and that is it, 12 races and you're done. It makes these races more valuable because back then you'd have 20 races, and most points you can get in a weekend is 25. You can still get 25 points in a weekend, but the problem is, there's only 12 races. It makes these races more important, so if you make a mistake, you really have to rebound in the next round. But starting out Season 11, we have 20 drivers, like you said, all signed up, and they've all showed up today to start out Season 11 of F1 TS Hub. Do you want to go like a little rundown of every driver in the Prestige tier?
Yeah, sure thing. We all know Beastas. He's the defending champion, of course, from the Pinnacle tier, which used to be our top tier last season. Of course, this season it now races at 8 PM and is our middle tier. So, yeah, Beastas is our defending champion. Odems, we all know Odems. Fantastic work as a press officer and, of course, on the team that helps run the league. MLA, we all know MLA, runner-up and Constructors champion last time out. Sean as well, Constructors champion. They've gone for teammates again, and they've chosen the red colour car this time rather than the silver one. Noak joined late last season. Fantastic driver, showed some good pace. D. Fletcher, he's new to the league. Techno Thriller moved up from the Pinnacle tier. SBL Mali, he was leading in Brazil, if you remember, Alan, and lost it on the last lap. Kian, of course, he has moved up. He is our drivers champion from the Pinnacle tier the podium tier last season. So he's moved up 2 tiers to the top one. Skeven is new to the league, but not new to F1. Malloy, he was second in qualifying night, I believe. Showed some really good pace improvement. He joined late last season in Season 10, and he's here in the top tier. Switchy is also new to the league. James Slater, ever so solid, ever so consistent. Black Mamba, he won in Singapore last time out in Season 10. Fletcher Boy, also new to the league. Welcome to him, as is Lickleblocks. Temp Fear, of course, our Season 5 champion. The only driver ever to complete an entire season by winning every single race. Maximum points in Season 5 for him. It was 8 races long, but he took the victory in all 8 of them. Returns for the first time since Season 6. Julian is new. VSR Charles is formerly Flair, so welcome back to him. And Heskey Time hasn't raced since Season 7, so a big welcome back to him as well.
Yes, I think you did a good job doing that grid rundown. Better than I could have. You know a lot more about F1 TS Hub than I do, but I've been looking through the times. Like you said, the Ferraris look quick. They were the Mercedes last season, but right now Sean stands on the front row. He's the only one with a 1:14 time so far. I think we all know Sean, he runs very well when, oh, someone spun it. It's Heskey Time in his return in the Sauber. He's lost the front wing in turn 2. And it looked like he just lost the back end. It got out in front of him or behind him, and next thing you know, he just spun it around. No saving that thing because, you know, you have a tendency to spin a lot more at these, at the tracks that are a lot wet. There's a lot of standing puddles on the track, and he's finding it very tricky to turn this car around. There's a lot of oncoming cars, and I believe this is one of the shortest tracks on the schedule, too. So that's why there's so many that he sees all at once.
He's actually been disqualified from parking in dangerous location. I think, Alan, he was actually being kind and waiting for everyone to go through, but the game's decided to disqualify him for that, which I don't think is the fairest, but it is what it is. He will start 20th position now, and not a good comeback for Heskey Time, is it? Welcome to F1 2017, and yeah, shame on that, we didn't get to see, but that corner there, Alan, is not the first time tonight we've seen drivers spin out there. in earlier tiers. It's really tricky in the dry. If you put the throttle down full, you're going to be going into that inside wall. So in the wet, I imagine it's even trickier. Sean's still on top, and everyone out in the pits except for Beastas, Skeven, and Mally.
I mean, we all know Beastas. Again, he likes to wait till the last second when there's most grip on the track. But the problem is, we're in rainy conditions right now, and it doesn't necessarily work the same way it does when the track is dry. But for Beastas, we all know he likes to wait till the end, wait when a lot of people either come into the pits or I don't know. I think Beastas just wants to wait till the very end when he has around a minute or two left on the track, set a lap time. I think he's right now just looking at everyone, seeing what either problems they make, or he's probably making adjustments to the car also, which could be a factor. But right now we have 5:50 something left, and there's only one driver who has not set a lap time, Switchy, and it's Heskey time. And right now everyone else is setting a lap time. I have noticed it looks like the top 13 are all divided by less than 1 second.
Yeah, we said it was going to be close. It's already proving close. Alan, it must be difficult with traffic here, getting a clean lap in, you know. 20 drivers, it's usually about under a minute 10. So MLA going off slightly there. And Odem's now catching him up, maybe a bit of DRS down this mini straight. And no DRS actually, sorry, it's raining, but slipstream for sure. And yeah, traffic is going to play a key part here in getting a clean lap. And yeah, what is exciting to see some rain. First race in the prestige tier ever at F1 TS Hub, and these are the 20 quickest guys in the league, and I'm excited to see who's going to come out on top.
Yep, I'm watching Odoms right now. He's sliding through the S's. Sometimes watching him drive, it makes me laugh to see. He's a wheelman, if you didn't know. Despite him having a pad, he controls the pad very well, and has good pace. He did win the season finale last season in Season 10 to finish out the Pinnacle tier, so not surprised that he's been showing pace. He stands 5th right now in the grid. 4.5 minutes remaining. Sean's still on front by 1/10. And looking through the grid, it's now top 15. They're all divided by 9/10. So everyone getting a lot closer, even in the wet conditions, which is very surprising and very, very interesting to see how this first race is going to play out for everybody.
Really tricky pit lane entry here, of course. It can really throw you out because the racing line actually cuts across it. So just saw Temtheo jumps up into 6th position, maybe get a little bit held up there by Bisas, who was just minding his own business coming into the pits. Switches on a quick lap, slightly slower in the middle sector, but if he's able to improve in these last 2 corners. No, he has a bit of a tank slapper, he saves it from the wall, and he kind of decides I might as well come into the pits now. Just over 3.5 minutes left of the session, so the drivers will be able to come in, get a fresh set of intermediate tyres, and head back out with some fuel, which you presume, Alan, for at least a couple laps. You wouldn't like to, in these conditions, leave it for one flyer.
It depends. It depends on your confidence. I mean, again, for Bisas, I'm saying he's doing one single lap. That man is full of confidence when he puts 4 tires on that racetrack. Other drivers, you know, getting their foot in F1 TS up for the first time, or just moving up on the ranks, so they've probably been out there on the track the entire time. Speaking about that, Tim Fear got a handful as he went through the S section, just lost the back end, and he was barely on the throttle, so really it just goes to show how careful and how, you know, you have to be a wheelman when you're behind this car, because really, with these types of conditions and much faster cars than they were in F1 2016, it's really hard to control these things with the conditions that we have right now. But also begs the question right now with the rain that we see right now, there's a factor we could see it for the race. I mean, the game is known to rain quite frequently. Not only do we have it in qualifying, but we're both spectators, we don't know, so if anyone is watching us a driver, let us know about the conditions in the race, but, I mean, there could be a chance you could see some rain in the race. That could be a factor. So, the laps that they are setting on these intermediates, imagine if we started with intermediate conditions, the drivers will be at advantage if we can set less laps on them.
We're just hearing from Flair that it is a dry race, completely dry, so, don't mean to ruin your fun, Alan, but everyone will get a free selection of tyre, of course, because they will.
I don't like the rain.
So it'll be interesting. We're watching on the Renaults just coming up to Odems in this last penultimate corner, and is he going to get in the way a bit? I think he might just be safe enough. to do so. Congratulations to Ali Diaz. We're just hearing that he's won the Pinnacle race, so congratulations to him, and that is just finishing up now. We have the 20 quickest at F1 TS Hub. Skeven is currently on provisional pole position. Everyone else is either on a quick lap or on an out lap. Alan, how on earth are we going to call all of this?
You know, you can't get everything when you're up here in the booth. There's so many things you miss, but you might as well just enjoy it while you can. I'm looking at it. Sometimes I'll miss a pass, sometimes I don't. But I'm looking at it, Skeven right now on top with a minute remaining. Many drivers on a flyer. I don't know who to look at, like you said. There's so many guys who have a chance at pole position of winning. Nowick up to third. Fast lap from him. Sean's back out on track. He's about to start his lap time with less than a minute remaining. Actually, is he I think he's... Never mind. Is he... Okay, he stays out. Okay. I thought I jinxed it like I usually do. Beast has in fourth, defending champion. He could set on the front row. He has one flying lap remaining, unless if he can get a wet lap in 40 seconds, which, you know, knowing Beast has, he likes to break records. Black Mumbai in fifth, riding the curbs, trying to get as much time as possible. And actually, MLA up to fifth now. Fletcher Boy up to fifth. The man who's won every single race in, I think it was either season 5 or 6, they mentioned. He won all 8 of the races, which is, again, very impressive. VS Charles out of it. First retirement caused by a driver today in qualifying. 17 seconds remaining, and Skeven, he's in sector number 2. Sean right behind him, literally right behind him. Julian approaching the uphill movement towards turn 2. Nowick, again, he set a flyer last time. He can still have some good tires, but I think he actually just ran out of fuel. He just ran out of fuel, and there goes his lap time. It's going to be really close, but Julian, or not Julian, was it? Someone just moved up the grid, I believe. But that ends up qualifying. Lickelblock's actually moved up to second. But yeah, good time from him. Skeven retires. He has not improved. Sean and Julian, they're close to the end of their lap. Sean, will he have enough time as he drifts around the penultimate corner and through the final one? Carries the momentum across the line. Sean, pole position by 0.08 of a second. Can anyone beat that time?
Beast has only 8th position, by the way. A lot of 10th here was up to, I think, 5th. And then all of a sudden, I look down the order, he's down in 12th position, now in 14th. Just shows you how competitive this field is. SVL Malley jumps into 7th position. Julian just coming across the line. He was quicker in sector 2. He was struggling with the rear of the car there. He jumps up to 5th position as well. Odems is in 3rd from that. Who can still improve? James Slater is, no, he's just crossed the line now. So we've got Techno Thriller. What can he do in the four-cylinder slide? He's drifting his car, and he spins it. He's gonna save it just about, but that's his lap ruin. Kian, our drivers champion from the podium tier, only managed, I think, 15th or 16th place. My goodness, Alan, I can't wait to see the gap between these cars. But Sean, massive, well done. Pole position in Austria.
I was going to point out, Odoms jumped to 3rd at the last second when he was 12th, but let's go to the grid rundown. Have to do this fast. 20 seconds, 20 drivers, Sean, Skeven, Odoms, Malloy, Julian, Lickelblock, Mally, MLA, Noah, B-Saz at the top 10. Black Mumbai, Fletcher Boy, James Slater, 10th tier, Techno Thriller, Kian,
Fletcher.
Fletcher, VSR Charles, which is Flair, Switchy, and it's Pesky time.
1.3.
We need to memorize Gotta memorize these names.
1.3, the gap between 1st and 19th place. Beasas, the champion, defending champion, starting in 10th place, right in the middle of the pack. Alan, you couldn't write a better story as the sun is shining here in Austria. Round 1 for the prestige tier. My goodness, how are you even meant to pick a winner from that? 1.3 seconds separates the entire field, and that's in the rain.
Yeah, I mean, the gaps, from qualifying from the wet to the dry conditions, you really can't tell who is going to have a chance today. I mean, some drivers have their strength in the wet, some drivers have their strength in the dry. This track is really fast in the dry, so really that could change because the speed of the cars will be going faster. But again, starting out season 11, new drivers, new faces, you can't really pick a winner yet.
No, you definitely can. They're all selecting their tyre strategy, their fuel. We'll give you confirmation the entire grid what tyre they're starting on because they all get a free choice. But Alan, of course, if with a free choices, you don't get that, the top 10 don't get that extra wear from qualifying. I expect this to be a one-stop race for pretty much everyone. Let's head over and see if we can get confirmation. So, The top 6 all on super soft tyres. We've got Mali, Nowick and Tempfear in 7th, 9th and 14th on the ultras. It's Heskey Time is the only driver to start on the softs, and everyone else has chosen the supers as well. So definitely the supers the preferred tyre for this race. Formation lap and then 5 red lights, and these guys are about to start season 11 here in Austria.
Yes, well, I'm going to ask you if you can do the formation lap, because I have to go right for a second. My voice is really about to die. I just need something to drink quickly.
No problem, Alan. You get yourself a drink. If you do see disqualified, it is only from the formation lap. But some interesting results there from the first qualifying session. Odems does have good pace in 3rd position. Malloy is still up there. He showed that in qualifying night. Julian debut in 5th position. Skeven debut in 2nd position. So it's fantastic. Lickleblocks debut just behind. Mali up to 7th. MLA only in 8th position, but he's still learning that wheel. Nowick in 9th. I believe he was on the front row in the last 2 races of season 10. So down to 9th for him. Beastas in 10th. That's an unfamiliar position. Black Mamba just outside the top 10. Fletcher Boy 12th on his debut. James Slater solid 13th for himself. Tempfear starts 14th on his return to F1 TS Hub. Techno Thriller and Kian both moved up, both battled for the championship in the podium tier last season. They start 15th and 16th place. They'll be looking to move forward from there. D Fletcher in 17th place. Charles, formerly known as Flair, in 18th. Switchy in 19th, new to the league of course. And it's Heskey Time, returning since season 7 in last position in that Sauber. So all to play for here in Austria as they line up on their grid shots. The tummies will be tumbling and the engines will be revving as Alan finishes his drink. He's going to take you away for the first time in season 11 here in Austria in the prestige tier. Alan, I'm so excited.
Yes, I am too. I'm not sure if you heard me coughing in the background. I'm still sick right now, but here we go. The 5 red lights in Spielberg for the start of season 11. And we're green with Skeven and Sean on the front row already. Skeven gets the jump to the inside. Skeven takes the lead, Sean on the outside. Already there's 4 wide in the background, back to 3 wide. Some contact. See a broken front wing in the background. There's a fourth Sendia Offie. Rejoins the track. There's 3 wide. The Haas into 2 Haas's with the Renault on the outside. Malloy with Nowick in this one. And again, 3 wide. Moving on to braking in the background. It's just so hard to see a McLaren off the track. There's 4 wide in turn 2. And it looks like they've all gotten away with it, to say the least. But Skeven hanging on to Sean. Sean down to the inside in turn 3. Puts that car down to the inside. Sean takes the lead, but not so fast. Skeven back to the outside. Nudges his way through. Can he hang it around the outside? He has 2 outside corners just to hang. But Sean, he's going to be very defensive as he closes them off as they approach the S section. So top 3 right now is Sean, Skeven, Julian, rounding out the top 3. And what a interesting first lap that was. Sean took back the lead on the first lap as he got pole in. One car already looking down to go in the pits. That's a Red Bull of Lickleblocks. Did he get any damage? Because I can't tell.
There was a few front wings flying. There was no major damage, but definitely some front wings flying. We're seeing a few drivers. Mali in the pits. He already dropped down 7 positions, so he's definitely got damage. Fletcher Boy is also coming to the pits. Not a good start to his F1 TS Hub career, but Sean will be happy he's got that position back from Skeven. And Julian on his debut up to 3rd already. Nowick's moved up 7 places. Black Mama's moved up 7 places with Nowick just behind. Carry on, Alan.
Odom's very slow. He must have went off in turn 1 because many cars were flying by him and he runs wide in that corner. The number 69 Red Bull, he's had a tough start in this race. Lost many positions, in fact. He's lost 14 off the start of this race. He was up towards the front. He set a fantastic lap time to get him in 3rd, but really it's not doing him any good. He's all the way back to 17th. And it looks like D Fletcher goes by Switchy. They're wheel to wheel, the 2 blue cars, one Toro Rosso, one Sauber. Around the outside, D Fletcher trying to get the run. Oh, he had to ghost there for a second. Not sure what that was about, but D Fletcher again trying to hang it, runs wide on the curbing, and next thing you know, he gets by the Sauber. It's going to allow Tempfear to try and get behind the inside in that Mercedes. So the Silver Arrow will have a stay on the inside on lap 2. In the penultimate corner, single file for so long. Oh, the Toro Rosso hopped over the curb, and he runs very wide off the corner. The final corner, that is. And looks like he has a big stack up behind him. Well, I'm not sure who got that front wing damage, but I know someone got it from hitting those yellow sausage curbs off the runoff in the final corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but my goodness, how are you meant to pick a battle to choose? I mean, the lead's covered just by 0.3 of a second, and then you got behind a bit of a gap. But here we go, DRS is open for Skeven. What can he do in the Williams? Is he going to sling it down the inside? No, Sean covers off just about. Behind, you've got another bit of a breathing room for those cars, and then the Haas is under threat. That's MLA. MLA is pressuring Malloy. Then behind you've got Force India and McLaren, so that's BSAS in 9th position. He's moved up 1 so far. James Slater is in 10th position, rounding out the points at the moment. Kean's just outside the top 10 in 11th place. So yeah, Odem's, it's not a good start for Red Bull, is it? That's for sure.
Yeah, so up to the grid, there's many people you can look at, and there's some problems that some drivers have. Skeven, he's about to get past from Julian for second place, down to the inside. Julian, he'll put up a good move in turn 1 on lap 4, makes contact, shoves him wide. Julian moves into second, Skeven third. Fourth, Black Mamba looking at that battle. They were hoping, he was hoping that they'd go off. Obviously, that did not happen. Black Mumbai still back and forth, 5th, Noack, 6th, Malloy, 7th, MLA. However, he's making up to try and make a move down to the inside. There's also McLaren in the background that makes a move down to the inside. Beast has with a move. Same with MLA. Those two, oh, those were the two protagonists last season in the Pinnacle tier. Now we're in the top tier, the Prestige tier that is. And well, both of these drivers not where they thought they would be in the beginning, and actually moving on to braking. Beast has against Techno Thriller, a broken front wing in turn 3, and now James Slater is going to have a say at 1 single point against Techno Thriller against his 2. He's trying to keep the defending F2 champ, or not F2 champion, the podium tier champion behind him, the season 10 champion that is of Kian, and right now he's outside of the points as it stands right now. Very, very competitive battles that we see right now. He's trying to defend Beastaz and Malloy against Beastaz, and actually he was trying to defend him when he was going to enter the pits. Not sure he knew that he was staying out that lap, but there's yellow in sector 3. Who could that possibly be for?
I'm not sure. There's Mercedes going slowly. That's 10th here. So Malloy's come into the pits. That's the problem when someone comes into the pits. It causes a cascade effect. The drivers behind don't know. They come around the corner and suddenly the car in front's slowing down. But Malloy coming into the pits, and there were so many cars at that one space of track or a couple corners. It's just amazing as 10th Fin now comes down the inside of Kian. They're going to exit side by side as they run down. Both have DRS, of course. Then you've got another 2 behind who are side by side. So what can 10th Fin do on the brakes? And then the car behind is Techno Thriller versus Charles. So, oh, it's still side by side. Looks like Kian's just held on.
Not sure if he hit him, but there must have been something as he just backed off in that corner. I thought I saw some contact, but his teammate behind him, VSR Charles Leclerc, he's on the move, and he wants to get by not only 10th Fear, but Kian as well. They need to pick up the pace to Fear. You need to make this overtake quickly, or else your teammate's going to do it for you. Right now, 10th and 11th are the 2 Mercedes, and they're, again, pretty close to each other. They just want to get this move done, and looking down to the inside, it's going to be ugly if they tried to make something, but in 10th place, 10th Fear. Again, sticking behind Kian. Lap number 6, Sean still leads by 2 seconds against Julian now. Skeven in 3rd, 4th Black Mamba, and that gap has closed up immensely over the last couple of laps. And 2nd, 3rd, 4th pretty close to each other. Next battle you can see is between the 2 Mercs, and Kian up in 9th as well. Other than that, I don't see a battle happening for the future. Everyone's starting to spread out. 2 people have already pitted that are in the pits right now. Looks like D. Fletcher fixing his front wing. Techno Thriller just scheduled pit stop lap number 6 out of 36.
Amazing stuff here. The 2 Mercedes are line astern, and brakes being locked up, rear brakes there for 10th Fear. So he is on those ultra soft tires. Perhaps they're just getting past their best. He needs to use them if they aren't. But look at the front, 2 3/10 of a second cover now as Black Mamba is right behind Skeven. And my goodness, Alan. This is amazing stuff, amazing racing here at F1 TS Hub. These are the quickest guys in the league, and they're putting on a show for us here tonight. Line astern is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. What's going to happen into turn 1? Turn 1 is almost a line them up for turn 2, because you don't want to try something and lose the momentum. So exactly what Skeven is doing for Julian. Is he going to be able to get 2nd place back? Sean leads by 2.3 seconds all the way down the field. You'll see plenty of DRS. You'll see plenty of 0 point something as the gaps are so minuscule side by side. 2nd and 3rd exit. The positions are switching and switching back and forth. The Renault just behind Black Mamba is happy to sit there. And is he going to look to the inside? No. The Toro Rosso covers him off, looks to the outside. and it's covered off again. So what's that, 10th field? So look, Mercedes against the Williams again. 10th field, is he going to try down the inside? He goes late on the brakes. Kian just gives him room, but is able to carry the momentum through the corner, and he's going to have the position again for the sweeping corners, which are about to end the second sector and start the third. But the Mercedes line of Stone still trying to get past that Williams. Alan, take it over for a sec.
Oh, looked like VSR Charles tried to make a move on 10th here, but it was not going to work as he had him covered off the corner. And it's very interesting. There's only 2 drivers in the top 10. We're running on ultra softs, and a mistake from Kian that'll allow 10th to have the inside off the final corner. They'll be wheel to wheel for the position. P9 against Kian, and it looks like it's going to be a little Mercedes train as they're going to follow to the inside. Will VSR Charles have a move to the inside? Looks, but backs off. 10th here in the 9th. 10th is VSR Charles, and the big loser of that one is Kian, because now all of a sudden he has Odoms behind him, and Odoms is going to make a move in turn 2. However, it looks like Kian has him covered. Actually put him in the grass there for a second. That may cause him to lock up in the corner, but he just runs it down to the inside to make contact, and he almost runs it off in turn 2, and Kian hangs on against Odoms. Oh, that was close between the two.
Look, 2 Mercedes, then you've got the Williams and the Red Bull. Then behind you've got another 2 cars going side by side in this DRS straight. How are you meant to pick which one to follow, Alan? Amazing racing here tonight from these guys. We haven't seen no spins into the wall yet. Fletcher Boy is catching up, by the way. 8.4 seconds now at the back. He's already made 2 stops, but he's catching the guys that are in front of him. And yeah, as you mentioned, 2 guys on the Ultras left in the top 10 at the moment. This is a good battle here, Kian versus Odoms. They've done a lot of practice together, and it seems like Odoms might have got the jump now, and perhaps he'll be able to pull away. The 2 Mercedes though still pretty close as they jostle for the final point scoring and second final point scoring position here in today's race. Bisas moving slowly up to 7th, and look who's in 6th. They're old rivals. They raced all season long last time out in season 10, and they're about to party here round 1 in season 11.
I wouldn't say party is the correct word to use.
10th fig goes off.
You see them. Yeah, I think he got shoved wide by his teammate. I don't know. They've been going fiercely at it, but something I did notice with 10th here, he keeps locking up in every corner, and especially some of those ultra softs. That's going to leave. And look at that. Yeah, another flat spot, I would have to say, for 10th here. I mean, he's just killing those tires right now. He's got to make an extra synth than everybody, in my opinion. And that's not good for him, especially since he's lingering around in P10, which only gives out 1 point. Do you think he's actually going to get any points in this round? He's been locking up his tires quite frequently.
The race is so early, it's just impossible to call right now. You know, that most of these guys have pit stops left to do. And look at this, Bisas closing in on MLA now. So we're going to see these guys jostle for position. They jostled for the championship, and now it's time. Oh, DNF, first DNF, that's Black Mamba. He spun it to the inside wall after turn 1. Yellow flags. Is that all we're going to see here? As Bisas is still chasing down MLA. They head into the braking zone, and everyone will need to be careful. No overtaking in that section of the track, of course.
I would have to say Black Mamba did make a mistake 2 laps ago, and Noak was close to him, and now it seems to be that Noak is reeling Julian in, so I'm not sure if they made contact off the corner, spun in the wall. That could have been it. I don't see any front wing damage on Noak's car, to say the least, so I don't think he could have been involved with it. I don't know. We'd have to get a race report from Black Mamba, which I'd really like to see. But yeah, defending runner, or the guys on the podium in Pinnacle tier last season. It was Beasthouse, MLA, and Sean. Right now they stand first, 5th, and 6th. And I mean, this battle between these two, again, they've been battling all of last season. It's gonna be really nice to see them battle again. Both of them running in different engines opposed to what they were in last season. So it'll be very interesting to see who wins the battle of this one, as MLA stands right now ahead of Beast has. And I was just going to say, there was someone going in the pits at 10th here. Yeah, he's finally switching off those ultra softs. It's lap 11 for him. And really, I think it's been time. He's gotten a lot of flat spots on those tires. But going through the grid, the only battle that I see that could go on is between Beastaz and MLA. You can see it with DRS here, which Beastaz will have as he enters the downhill movement of turn 3.
Yeah, 10th there lost a couple positions on that in lap, so he obviously felt the grip was gone. It's time to come in. He'll one-stop it from here on those soft tires. Will he get an undercut? Depends where he comes out. If he come out in traffic, it is going to be difficult. He's going to come out in 18th position. So it just shows you, Alan, you make a pit stop and you go from just inside the top 10 to nearly last place And we've got our first retiree, of course, Black Mamba, the first retiree of Season 11 in this prestige tier, and the battles are still going on throughout the field. This is the closest one, MLA versus Beasthass, I believe at the moment. Switch is closing in on its Hesky time, who of course started on those soft tires, so he's yet to pit. He'll be quicker the closing stages of the race. Is Beasthass going to try into turn 1? No, thinks better of it. Fantastic, look, gets a good exit. What's MLA going to be able to do here? Is MLA going to be able to get DRS or slipstream from that Haas that's in front of him? Noek.
Again, he's got to defend down to the inside. MLA, he's got the disadvantage off turn 2 because Beast is going to stick his nose right up the inside, but he lost it back out and in front of him, and he just lost it there. The tiny chance he had getting by him. Now looks to be he has to wait another lap, but looks to the inside. But again, MLA holds his line on the advantage as he gets more momentum off the corner. And MLA, as it stands right now, in P5, trying to catch Noak as well, who's on a softer compound. They're only around a second or so behind him. B-Sav's trying to find a way around MLA at the same time, who's also been holding, oh, I wouldn't say holding up, but who's also been behind him. So lap 12, Sean extending the gap over Skeven, Julian in third, fourth Noak, and rounding out the top 5 is MLA. We've only had one retirement so far, and that's Black Mumbai, that retiring a couple laps ago off of turn 1. But yeah, Flair said the race is, or VS or Charles said the race was going to be absolutely dry today. So rain tires or anything like intermediates or what's won't play a factor. What do you think the pit strategy is here for? We haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah, I think it's mainly going to be a one-stop from these guys. They're going to go, I think most of them will go onto the soft tire and just go to the end of the race. It's Hesky time in 9th, started on those softs, so expect something different from him. Fletcher has also done a couple of stops, I believe, so perhaps he's trying something different or had a bit of damage and having to convert to a longer stint, something like that. But look at this, those ultra soft tires have almost worn out on that Haas car, and now MLA is closed right up under half a second. We're seeing some position changes as now Odems and Kian both come into the pits, and it looks to me like they've both put on the soft tire and come back out, 15th and 18th place respectively. Fletcher Boy just out at the back of the field at the moment. Tempfear, look at Tempfear right on the back of, no, he's just got, they're going side by side as they exit. They're going to run down now to turn 3, gives him a little bit of a squeeze, does the Sauber driver. And they're in the wall. There was no need for that, in my opinion. Absolutely, there was plenty of room on the racetrack, and that was a needless decision from Fletcher and D Fletcher, sorry. And I'm sorry to say, I shouldn't pass judgment, Alan. I don't know if you caught it, but that was just we're going down the straight. You don't need to be that close to the car in front. I feel very sorry for Tempfear. That's not a way he'd like to make his return to the league.
I actually did not see it. I was looking through the gaps on the race, but I'm gonna have to catch that again. I'll have to look it up off the stream. But yeah, yellow sector 2, 3 cars out of it already. That leaves 17 left in the race with Fletcher Boy back in 17th. Actually, there's a pass for P6. It is between VSR Charles and James Slater, wheel to wheel, and Charles is going to make up a move on the outside, but the gap may close, and it does. Again, looking back down to the inside. Again, Slater is Charles, and then again, Odoms and Techno Thriller going at it. I think it was Thriller that made a mistake there, because now he's nowhere to be seen, but again, VSR Charles, he may make up a move in turn 1. He just has to be patient. He's going to try to get more momentum to the corner. He ends up hitting the back end of the Renault of James Slater, and he'll probably get a switchover back in turn 1, depending where he is at the braking zone. And he may try it, but again, he's going to have to work up a move up the inside of this lap 15 out of 36. And he's going to try and look down to the inside, try and chase him up the hill. That should be an easy overtake for Charles here. Just get him under the braking, clear him, and does. Up to 6 is Charles. Another move against Noak and Hesky. However, again, ghosting. That's the second time I've seen Hesky ghost this race. I know contact is turned on, like we mentioned a couple laps ago, but like every time I see Hesky get close to a car, he ghosts. Do you have any reason for that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. It seems that unless he's pressing pause, there's no reason for it. Unless the game... Sean comes into pits, by the way, as does Julian. So first and third, Skeven now takes the lead, are in the pits. Surely they're going to fit the soft tyre and go to the end of the race. Yeah, Sean's on softs. What's Julian going to put on? You have to think soft is going to be for him. Yep, soft is waiting for the Toro Rosso car. So first and third in the pits. BSAS now up to second. MLA up to third. So BSAS has got ahead of his former championship rival. And Julian will come out in 6th position. Sean's come out in 4th. So again, battle, they've come out right in the thick of things. And James Slater and Lickleblocks also coming into the pits further down the field, Adam.
Yes, Steven knows that he can't win the race by pace unless Sean makes a mistake. I think he knows that. He's tried to push really hard, put on Rich Mix the last couple laps, last 10 laps actually, in fact, and he has not even reeled in the gap against Sean. So I think the only way he knows is either the undercut or the overcut. And for Steven, he felt like that, you know, it was too early to do an undercut, so he's going to wait out a couple laps, see if he can get the overcut on him. Hopefully that's what he actually, nope, yeah, he comes in the next lap. Not much of an advantage, but let's see if the gap does close up, because also it could be the fact that Sean could get stuck in dirty air and traffic, opposed to Steven, who led that field for a lap. Bet if he stayed out a lap or two longer, he could have made it, but actually, ultra soft for Steven, he's going to be pitting another time here. James Slater's called it quits. Not sure what happened with him. Actually, no, he didn't call it quits. He left the session, so he disconnected. And we're looking on the screen now. Sean has already gone by Steven. What about Julian? Julian's going to jump him as he exits the pits. Just barely. Julian in a second, so that overcut definitely not going to work. And actually, Williams and Steven looking to the inside. The Flying Irishman. He'll have a say about the inside. Clears Julian back for the position. Just for a couple of seconds, Julian was ahead of Steven, and he took it right back. As who has DRS? It's not Julian. It's Steven who has an advantage ahead of Julian and Noack as they approach turn 3. Sean still leads. Gap is now back to 7 seconds, and plus Steven cannot finish the race on the side, so he's gonna have to make another pit stop. What do you think he's trying to do here?
He's definitely trying to two-stop it. He's gone the opposite strategy to pretty much everyone around him. It's Heskey Time is the only driver who hasn't stopped, and Lickleblocks and Fletcher and Malloy have all stopped twice. So he's obviously gone for the opposite strategy to what most of his rivals are doing, and you just don't know, Alan. It could pay off for him, but he is in clean air. He's got 7 seconds up the road, so I don't know. It's going to be hard. Surely, if he felt that Sean was beatable, this is a strategy. If he felt that Sean wasn't beatable, he should have covered off the other guys that were around him. SBL Malley also coming into the pits now for a second time today. So Heskey Time up to 7th now. Fletcher Boy, by the way, has finally made up some positions after that poor start and the incident that he was probably involved in. We didn't catch it. Now you've got again Kian versus a Red Bull. So Lickleblocks trying to get past the podium tier drivers champion. Let's see what these boys are made of.
Again, he's close to it. Kian, Lickleblocks, they're so close to each other. Will he make up a move in turn 2? Going down to the inside, he does. Kian gives him just enough room to look, but off the outside goes Kian, getting that momentum back. He moves back into 11th as Temphier has now left the session. So it's gone from bad to worse for Temphier. He stands right now. Actually, he's already out of the race. My bad. It's already been worse for him. Now he doesn't even want to watch the race. But back in 11th, again, Key and Techno Thriller. They're only a second apart from each other, but the battle we're looking at between is Kian and Lickleblocks, who are only 2/10 close. So next couple laps, they should be making a move, and they're on the same tires. So right now, Kian just trying to hold Lickleblocks at bay. And actually, Kian reeling in Techno Thriller, now down to 5/10, opposed to his second a lap ago. So maybe Kian will have his hands full as he is approaching a single point, entering lap number 19.
Yeah, James Slater, by the way, struggling with connection. He's left the session, he's come back in. I haven't actually seen too much lag at all this session from what I've seen, so good connections here from these guys. And look at this, now you've got 3 cars heading into turn 2. Who's going to dare latest on the brakes? It looks like Kian feels a bit feisty against his former championship rival last season. Let's see if he gets a good exit. Lickleblocks also gets a good exit. So both of them are going to have DRS. Techno Thriller is sitting duck, but it looks like as long as he nails his exit, he's going to be able to keep that final point scoring position for the minute. Skeven, by the way, hasn't really closed on Sean on those quicker tyres, so he needs to do something if he's planning to to keep second or even third position, because I think the cars behind are on the better strategy. Look at these cars, nose to tail as we come into the third sector through this sweeping S section. The Red Bull gets almost out of sorts, but just about manages to keep his nose pointing the right way. This is going to help Mally's, who's behind, close up. And yeah, lots of DRS, lots of battles going on, and these are why these guys are the best.
Yes, they're keeping their fenders clean, that's for sure. They're just going to have a fun race. We'll try to race as competitive as possible and not have any damage. You can see so close with Kian and Techno Thriller. Like you said, they were rivals last season. Probably still are rivals this season, but of course in different cars. Yellow Sector 2-3, what is this going on about? I don't see anyone around.
They touched. Techno Thriller's in the wall, spinning off. Kian also hit the inside wall. Techno Thriller's got no front wing. What's happened to Kian? He's just got left front wing damage. That was, again, just too close for comfort. You just got to give each other more room, I think.
Yeah, again, like you said, they were rivals last season. They definitely are still rivals this season. And they just came together when just going for a position. And, I mean, it is a racing incident. I mean, not much you can say about that. Not like he meant to do that on purpose. But Lickle Block's up to 10th, 11th. SPL Malekeka, we haven't talked about him too much today. Still in the McLaren like he was last season. He had a chance to win a couple races last season. Now he's just running outside of the points. 11th defending champion of podium tier. Kian in 12th, Switchy 14th. For 13th, 14th is Thriller. A couple more passes going on. Beast has a Noack up in 4th and 5th now. And Beast has just fallen a victim to Noack, who did run last season, I believe. And well, it feels like the pace has shifted from last season to this season. What do you think about it? I mean, Beast has, I wouldn't say, is the fastest anymore. It's just that he didn't qualify at the best, and he's just trying to work his way through the field, opposed to he got many poles last season.
Yeah, I think that's one contributing factor. I think the other contributing factor is he wasn't that quick here in Season 10 around Austria. So perhaps this is just a track, you know, which doesn't suit him as much. But of course he's in the McLaren this year rather than the Williams, and I don't know how much of an effect that has on his mindset. Obviously they are equal cars, but yeah, this train MLA joining it, and it's Heskey time further down the straight as Charles gets a 3-second time penalty. Well, we've got a second just to breathe. We'll just point out, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you follow us on all of our social media, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and of course you can get 5% off voucher if you head over to Kinch Gaming. That's our sponsor, of course. Alan, this is lap 22 out of 36. We haven't had a moment of silence here in today's race, and 14 laps to go to decide pretty much everything down from second.
Yes, like I say, moment of silence. If you wanted to hear silence, you'd probably either have to mute the live stream or turn it down to 0.25 speed and, you know, find a little pause that we have between us two. But Sean's still leading. Gap is actually extended from 7 seconds to 8.2, despite Skeven being on the such faster compound, the ultra softs against the softs. I mean, Sean has brought up his A game. He's really impressed me. I mean, out of all the new faces in F1 TSM, how about other new people moving up? And plus, Sean, no offense, but he was a second driver at Mercedes when MLA was contending for the championship, and now all of a sudden he goes to Ferrari. Next thing you know, they're giving him the spotlight. He's been pushing, he's outperformed the car, and I think he's really impressed me so far today. And speaking of impressing, Charlie, I thought he passed someone. Actually, he passed. It's Heskey time, but he was in the pits. Made a clean pass, but obviously had to because he's behind the wall. But yeah, Sean really impressed me so far in this race. Who's most impressive for you so far?
I have to agree. Look at that. He's the only driver that's been able to pull a gap from what I've seen on the car behind and just steadily increase it throughout the race. He's done his strategy very well. He gained a few seconds during the pit stop phase, and you have to say he got pole position, didn't he, as well? So it's been a pretty good night for him so far. And I was impressed with him last season. It'll be interesting because last season he suffered from also getting too many penalties, I think, at tracks where corner cutting is strict, like Austria. So I haven't seen his name pop up, and he's got a cushion anyway. So no, a game to Sean. You can't argue with what he's putting out on the track tonight. Look at this, Julian, 0.2 of a second behind Skeven. This is and Bisas is there as well. This is for the podium's positions. It's hugely exciting. Then you've got MLA right behind Noack as well. And looking further down, Mali's chasing down Little Blocks. They're just under half a second between those guys. And Kian, currently running in 17th place, is under a second to Techno Thriller. So I wonder if those two are going to come back for some more different tyre compounds, of course. Back up first and second. He has a look, does Julian, but thinks better of it.
Yep, there is a chance. I was going to say about Sean, we'll hold that for a second. Julian, really close to Skeven and Bisas again. 3 cars out. I was gonna say with hold on, another pass, Mali, Liquid Blocks. Mali made a slight mistake off the corner, Liquid Blocks, and again he's gonna try and get the position back. Entering turn 3 in P9 is Mali, and to the outside goes Liquid Blocks. Again, he's just trying to get momentum out on the corner, and that's what he's gonna do. Yeah, like we're saying with Sean, I was gonna point out that usually when you get passed on the opening lap for the race lead, you usually don't gain it back. Sean was able to pick up the momentum once again and find it and pass Skeven again on the same lap he got passed and lead the first lap of this race. So really impressive stuff, like we said about Sean. But again, Mali and Liquid Blocks, they've tried to keep this battle clean, and it's been going so close for so long. Back up in second, third, and fourth now. Skeven, Julian, and Bisas got another battle to look at. They're really close. The only difference is there's one more car compared to the other battle. This time it's Skeven, Julian, and Bisas. Do you think all of them, once they pass each other, or if they do you think they'll get cleanly out of this, or do you think that they'll either crash out, get front wing damage? What's your call on this? Because they've been racing way too hard.
Someone's got to make a mistake, otherwise these two will finish like this. Not necessarily in this order, but this close. I think the car in the middle, Julian's just got to be the most careful, because you got to not just look to attack but defend. What is Skeven? Is he coming into the pits? He is. So he's confirming his 2-stop, and Bisas gets a good run now on Julian. So is he going to be able to do something here into turn 1? Look, Julian's already gone defensive straight to the pit wall entrance, and now he's going to go back. He's going to give Bisas room on the outside, but Bisas is cleverer than that. He said, perfect for me, I'm going to get a better run at you and get the job done into turn 2. Right on, complete. This is how much room you should be giving each other, and there won't be contact. Second and third position. Bisas goes down the inside. Both, look at the switchback, he's trying to do the cutback, but I think Bisas is going to get DRS, which indeed he does. I'd expect him to perhaps pull away from here. And that 2-stop strategy, Skeven's come out in 8th position, by the way. Mali and Liquid Block still fighting as well, and they've got it's Heskey time there for Company, who is on super softs and going to the end of the race as he started on the soft tire. So look at these 3 guys side by side with the Red Bull in front at the moment, the McLaren on the inside, Sauber on the outside. Will they give each other room? They do give each other room. Fantastic racing once again from this Pinnacle tier. Sean leads now by 12 seconds over second place. Look at Kian and Techno Thriller at the back as well. This is for bragging rights. This is to say, hey, look, we had an incident, but I want to come out on top just because we raced together all last season. We fought for the championship last season, and it might only be 16th and 17th at the moment, but there's a lot of pride involved in that one, that's for sure.
There's always a lot of pride involved in racing, first of all. But yeah, we have final 10 laps to go. These drivers are going to start pushing, especially if they have compounds that they can finish the race on. Mali back in 10th, trying to hold off its Heskey, and yeah, he's just trying to hang on there. He's doing a good job at it so far, but again, he does have some dirty in front of him. Liquid Blocks in 9th, but as we look up to the grid, Beast has moved into 2nd, 3rd is Julian, 4th, Milik, 5th, MLA, 6th is VS or Charles. Next battle we should be seeing is again Mali against Liquid Blocks. Those two are close to each other. Same with Kian back in 17th, but keep your eyes on Mali. Can make a move in turn 2. He thinks better of it. Hops over the curb, hits the back end of Liquid Blocks. He will have DRS on Liquid Blocks, so it's Heskey time on the McLaren of Mali. A move could be done in turn 3. Looking to the inside, and again single file lockups from Heskey. So as he goes to the grid, again, Mali, he's just struggling to get by that Red Bull there. But for some of these drivers, they're just trying to take it patiently, hold on to the end. Guys like Sean, for them, it feels like they've known they won the race, that they've had the pace, they have a big lead. All they have to do is just nurse the car around home. To the end of this thing, we have less than 10 laps. We have 9 laps to go, actually. So for guys like Sean, he's just trying to be taking his time. But for other guys that want to get in a battle like MLA,
yeah.
Why would Noak has gone by, MLA pressed his buttons, went a little too wide, and a risk did not pay off for him. But yeah, and especially drivers such as Mali, he's really really trying to get by Lico. Before the end of the race, we do have 8 laps left, and his goal is just to get by him. That's it. Fend him off till the end. And you also have to remember penalties. I don't even know who has a penalty, so you have to keep that in mind. But down to the inside goes Malley, and rubs him off track, gives him room to rejoin, but Malley clearly takes P9 against the Red Bull Lico blocks, and now it's Heskey time. He may have a say about it. He's getting a little Heskey, if you know what I mean, trying to get into turn 3, locking up those right sides, just trying to get close to the Lico blocks, can't do anything about it. Now Kian goes at it with Techno Thriller. Yeah, he made contact, but Kian goes by for the bragging rights of P16. And, well, these battles are just starting to heat up as we enter the final stint of this race.
They haven't ever cooled down. This has been a fire lit since the beginning, since lap 1. And when they're this close in qualifying, you shouldn't expect anything different. Remember, 1.3 covered the field in the rainy conditions, and they're showing us. Look at this behind now. You've got it's Heskey time suddenly under attack from Switchy. This is for 11th position. So DRS, of course, open for all of these guys except now for Malley. So it's his turn to suffer without that aided DRS. And it's Heskey time goes wide now. Is this going to allow Switchy to go through? He's already got the job done. He'll keep the inside line and do him on the brakes just to consolidate that position. But will now this give Heskey time DRS for the next corner? He's going to get a better exit. DRS, is it going to pop open? No, it doesn't. It's, oh yes it does, yes it does. I can't tell.
It's hard to see from up here. I'm just trying to look and see what battle could be going on. Again, pretty close between MLA and now Noek. Noek gives the inside to MLA to make a move in turn 1. MLA is going to go by for 4th. Takes a position away, and he's one more closer to Beast House.
Oh.
And someone just came out of the pits. Oh,
runs him on the grass.
And he did.
Yeah, MLA giving him a proper squeeze to the grass. He wanted that inside line, and Noek was saying, no, I want that inside line. Noek did very well to keep it out of the wall there, because you can easily, if you're running rich or something, you can easily spin your wheels up, and before you know it, like Black Mamba found out earlier on, you're missing a wheel and having a motorbike ride back to the pits. But MLA got the position up into 4th. Bisas, good recovery from him. He started 10th position. Look at him, he's in 2nd place. He navigated the field perfectly. I don't think he has an answer to Sean though. I don't think anyone on this track today has an answer for Sean. And he's showing that he is wanna be number 1 this year in that Ferrari team, sorry. And look at this, Keen and Techno Thriller had a position change once again, according to our position change indicator. No, it gets a penalty. So, as you said, Alan, penalties could play an important part in the final results. Be interested to see if anyone loses or gains positions because of it. And for the first time in our 30 laps, no one is in DRS.
Got yellow, sector 2, sector 3. I don't see anyone's time dropping off. I don't know again who that could be for. Could be another glitch. But 31 out of 36. We have 6 laps to go as we approach the 1 hour mark on this live stream. I mean, it's been up for what, 50 minutes or so? Almost around that for Lico Blocks again. I think it was him this time. So yeah, Lico Blocks. He has a lot of gravel on his tires. He must have spun it in the S section. He's all the way down to 14th. That's put Switchy into the top 10.
Yeah, and he's just been hit by Techno Thriller coming into the pits, I think. So Techno Thriller coming around. Obviously, Little Blocks has wing damage. Is he going to get that car slowed down? He is. Techno Thriller follows in behind now with wing damage. He gets his car slowed down as well. So they'll make a late pit stop, and they're going for the fastest lap. That is for sure. No, Techno Thriller. He's given up on this one. Says, I'll live to fight another day. Malloy moves up now into the top 15. He hasn't had the best race, incident filled. He is one of the quickest in this tier, but he currently finds himself in 15th place. As we got yellow flags in sector 1. I wonder if that's for Techno Thriller, who has retired.
I will say, Nick, you should start looking up in the sky, because I'm starting to see some rain with only 5 laps to go.
Alan, I think you definitely don't need to go to Specsavers, because you are seeing rain, and it is bouncing off of those front tires as I ride on board with Malloy. What on earth has Austria done to us tonight? Our hearts can't handle this one. We have rain for the final few laps. Will anyone come into the pits? The same thing happened in the podium tier earlier on. We had rain in the pinnacle tier at 8 o'clock, and now we've got rain in the prestige tier And wow, what a way to spice up an ending to the race. I don't know whether it will come down hard enough, but if it does, you'll then have all these drivers have to make a quick decision on what they're going to do next.
Yeah, and again, it just makes you think. I mean, last couple laps, it's a game changer for some of these guys. Again, if they're not good with, you know, driving slick tires on a wet surface, it definitely plays in as a disadvantage for guys like Sean. Even if he wasn't, he should just be careful. He should be able to make it to the end. About to head to lap number 33 out of 36. Sean still leads. Bisa second, third. Julian and actually Steven lost more positions when he came out of the pits than he would have imagined them gaining. Do you think that's I mean, that's obviously a problem. What do you think went wrong for him?
I just think he's had a strategy error. You know, I think those soft tires, you can get good consistency on them. And Steven went for an alternate strategy and it really hasn't paid off. Otherwise, I definitely think he would have been fighting with Bisas and Julian for that podium position. Obviously, you don't know, perhaps he's struggling a little bit with tyre wear or something like that on that Williams today. But he's down in 8th position, and you have to feel what could have been for today's race for him. Odems is slowly catching on Charles. You could just about see him. That's for 6th and 7th position. I believe that's the closest of any of the gaps across the field. The rain definitely just looks just light enough to me to carry on these dry tyres. I don't know who would come into the pit. Sean's perhaps got one of the trickiest decisions because he's got no one to go by, but 11.4 seconds he leads Bisas, and I still think he's very comfortable out in front, and he has driven a brilliant race up to now. We'll see whether he can close it out of the final couple of laps, and whether anyone can take advantage of these conditions.
I feel like there should be at least a couple of drivers in the field that will have an advantage to this rain. Sean still leads, gaps around 11 seconds. Closest battle I can see is really Kian in 14th. Or no,
it's Odems and
Odems and Charles 16th. Other than that, I don't see a battle happening. So really, everyone is in a good amount of room. If they do end up making a mistake or anything like that, we are on the penultimate lap, however, and the move to the intermediates is starting to close quickly if you actually do want to pit. I think everyone's just going to stand on these tires to the end. No need to pit. You're coming to the final lap is Sean, and you've done a phenomenal job today. And he's, you know, how many laps has he not led in this race? That's the question. Maybe like 1 or 2?
Yeah, that was only when he pitted, because as you mentioned, Alan, he got the lead back before the first lap ended after starting on pole. He did get a poor start, so if you had to find fault with his performance today, you would say that's the only thing. His teammate in 4th as well, so it's going to be a good points haul for that Ferrari team, picking up where they left off in Season 10 in the Mercedes. Kian, meanwhile, was just caught up to the back of James Slater on those fresh super soft tyres. So what can the Season 10 podium tier champion do about James Slater, who came home in a solid 4th position in the Drivers' Championship last time out in Season 10. So this is going to be a battle right to the finish line. Sean is on his final lap in the first sector. We'll keep an eye. We'll definitely want to ride on board with him as he crosses the line. Kian is going to go for perhaps a lunge into this next turn 3. He's got so much more grip. Flies on exit. DRS is going to be open, and we'll just follow this one as they head down into the braking zone. Is Kian going to be able to get the Renault driver? Nope, he isn't able to do it late on the brakes. So switch over to Sean. He has been a phenomenal driver here tonight. You've been impressed with him, Alan. He's got a definite Driver of the Day nomination coming from me later on tonight. All of those Driver of the Day for all 3 tiers will be on Twitter for you to vote. And what a splendid race this has been. Austria, you have provided 3 thrilling races here tonight in F1 TS Hub. This is Season 11. Sean crosses the line and he wins in the Ferrari.
Yep, smashes that car as he crosses the line, and it's been a while since he's won, since last season. Opens up with a bang and wins the opening round of Season 11, and outperforms his teammate. Well done to him. Bisa second, third, Julian fourth.
On his debut as well.
Yep,
Julian's
definitely.
first race, of course, so very, very good for him.
5th is Noack, 6th is VSR Charles, and again, without Julian, the top 3 would have been the top 3 in the championship last season, just in a different order, which very interesting to see that the same guys are picking up where they left off. Again, Beast has fought his way through the field also. He could be a good nominee for driver of the day also.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for the rest of the field as we're seeing carbon fiber fly from these AIs crashing. It's Heskey time. Looks like he's going to finish just outside the points on his return to F1 TS Hub. But just interestingly, Odom's lost a position there to Skeven on penalties as they cross the line. So, Alan, that was a crazy race. Austria, you are amazing. We love you so much. And Alan, I'll let you run through the results after we have a little bit of taste of champagne.
Virtual champagne cannot taste better enough in this game. With the man on top today, Sean, he's done it and won it like he's done it before. Sean back on top of the podium with, of course, Bisaz and Julian. 2 familiar faces and 1 newcomer that could be up there in the future again. He poses as a big threat today. I don't think he made any mistakes today, and you have fantastic pace. Expect him to at least win a couple races this season because he's going to be a threat for sure. But that rounds out the race, and wow, MLA does not have a penalty other than that. I mean, James Slater didn't either, but other than that, everyone driving dirty, getting those penalties. So it's time that we do the grid rundown. And here we go. It is Sean B says Julian, MLA, Noack, VSR Charles, Steven, TSO, Odoms, Mally's Switchy, it's Heskey time, Fletcher Boy, James Slater, Key, and Malloy, Lickle Blocks. And then it is Sergio Perez, Hamilton, Erickson, and Palmer, who, I don't know who they are, but, I mean, Palmer and Erickson, they usually crash out in the race anyway, so I'm not surprised to see their names down at the bottom. But, yeah, Nick, from a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate this opening race for the Prestige tier in Season 11?
Well, 10 out of 10, they've really put themselves on the map. This Prestige tier, I believe, could go up against a lot of tiers in the Formula 1 community. Absolutely fantastic pace shown from the whole bunch of them. It's a shame we had a couple incidents which, took a few drivers out of the race, but I definitely think you're going to see these results chopping and changing throughout the season. Sean dominates the headlines in round 1, opens his championship hopes with a pole position and the win. Bisas recovered well after a poor qualifying session. Julian on his debut, well done to him. MLA shows you he's always there or thereabouts. Noack rounds out the top 5. I think, Alan, we're in for a real treat as we head for the next 11 races in Season 11.
Yes, I'm very excited to be back with you next week, and of course being with you this season as well like it was last season. I'm enjoying myself here, and of course enjoying the fantastic racing that has been displayed. Sean is your winner, the Austrian Grand Prix in Spielberg, and what a weekend it has been with 3 tiers on for F1 TS. I'm not sure if you mentioned that. I mean, you have. The first time ever, because last season, first time ever F1 TS about 2 tiers, so now we moved up to 3, and now the first time we've had a full grid race in F1 TS Sub. It can't get any better than that, can it?
I think it's been a very successful night for the league, Alan. Our waiting list again is over 10 drivers long. We've got 3 tiers, 60 drivers who raced across the 3 tiers, and Alan, I think we're in for a fantastic season. In the podium tier every week at 7 on Fridays, the pinnacle tier every week at 8 on Fridays, and of course our prestige tier every week at 9 PM on Fridays. Of course, don't forget you've got the late night talk show, Let's Talk TS Hub, later on tonight at 10:30 PM UK time. We're going to grab some drivers from each tier to jump in and have a little chat, find out how they got on tonight, and just perhaps discover what went through their heads during the races. But Alan, we're in for a cracker of a season. It's going to top last season 100%.
Yes, very exciting indeed. That should end up the broadcast and start out season 11. It should be a good one. A race like that should see more action later on in the season. I mean, that's only the first race. Imagine how much better the next 11 races are going to be. But if you're going to end up the stream, then I'm going to do the outro like we always do. Actually, race was pretty quick, to be honest. It's only 7 minutes past 5 for me. I know for you it's 7 minutes past 10. just fairly quick. The race didn't even start less than an hour ago, but I think we'll finish it off here. Thank you everybody so much for watching. My name's Alan Cavagnero. I'm alongside Nick, the start of F1 TS Sub Season 11, the Prestige tier. It was prestigious enough to see all these fast drivers running very close to another, and at the end it was Sean that stood on top. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in. Have a safe night, everybody, and peace.